What's going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today we're going to talk to you about SoFi. I want to give you an overview of what is really moving SoFi, go over some of the data points and everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. And with that said, let's get right to it. So right now it is down 1.34%. 20.7 million shares have been traded. 54.03 is the average. So today is going to be a little bit low for the volume, probably settle roughly around the 35 million mark, somewhere around there. But then again, that's been the case for the last week and a half, give or take. So nothing really to be concerned about. Similar to yesterday though, you do see a lot more institutional buying. So of course that kind of does mean that algorithmic trading isn't really getting involved as much as they once were with SoFi. So that's kind of a positive thing. These are some of the transactions that have occurred so far in the secondary market above $100,000. But when it comes down to SoFi specific stuff today, there has been no news. SEC filings, there was one submitted yesterday at 6:05. And so here it does show on March 21st, 2024, Mr. Chad Borden, who is, or I guess was the executive vice president, did resign from his position with SoFi. And so of course that kind of has people questioning things. It does have some official PR, so good wording in here. It says Borden resigned to pursue other opportunities and his resignation was not the result of any dispute or disagreement with the company. So again, like I said, very good PR related words, very neutral and everything like that. But of course, the market likes to overreact to a lot of things, and how they're overreacting is kind of thinking behind the scenes. And hopefully on this channel, you do appreciate that I do talk on the good, the bad, and the ugly, and I kind of rationalize exactly what the market is interpreting. And so ultimately, by this information, they're saying, like, is there an issue with SoFi? Because technically, whether it be yourself or myself, wherever we work, if you see a lot of good future there, are you going to leave? Most of us are going to say no. Some of us, yes, there's better opportunities elsewhere, but that does signal that there's something wrong inside SoFi. So this is the way the market is really interpreting this information. And plus, any piece of negative news associated to SoFi, you always have a sell-off. That's what happens with SoFi. It's just the negatives get blown out of proportion and then the positives just get brushed under the rug. Because there was a positive that did come out today, and that was this. So a new analyst rating came out today, and that was done by Jeffries John, who does have a 62% success rating, so rather good for that, and a $12 price target. So all in all, I see this as a positive, but did this really get factored into the stock price? No, of course not. So again, that's kind of what is really moving the price today. And I do see a lot of people on social media talking on how this right here, this sell-off was shorts. And I just wanted to address that briefly because that is very wrong. Because as of right now, shorts are actually returning 5.49 million shares, as you can kind of see right here. 18.84% of the free float is being shorted, and that works out to be 171.98 million shares overall are being shorted. Cost to borrow average is 1.43%, and then utilization is 86.8%. So interesting to see that they are returning a significant amount. I think it's just due to broader market optimism today. But at the same time, them returning adds a buying pressure. So logically, it does not make sense that it was them. Plus, if you kind of do look at the intraday for shorts, you can kind of see at GMT 1430, so that is 9:30 Central. Obviously, you guys can adjust accordingly. But technically, they are the ones that kicked off the value rally. So they didn't cause this, they caused this. So if anything, you kind of have to thank shorts today, at least. The rest of the days they can go fuck themselves, but today at least they caused this. So of course I think that's kind of a good thing. When it comes down to this, it also had to do with the technicals, so I'll touch on that in a second. As far as options, 3.39 million in calls being purchased versus 922,000 in puts. Segment wise, somewhat evenly divided, but 44% of all the options being done today are bearish. And like I said in the past, there is that wall that's being created at that 750. So that's going to be some problems possibly for SoFi in the foreseeable future. Of the call options that are being purchased, there's a consensus for it to be above that 750 mark. And then looking at puts, there's a consensus, oddly enough, for it to be sub roughly $7, abnormal ones around the 6. So I don't know what's up with that $6 ones, but still beside the point, somewhat evenly divided. So the optimism from yesterday has somewhat diminished. Of course, take that with a grain of salt. Dark pool, very, very popular, no different than the last several trading days. So this is where a lot of institutions and shorts kind of have some of their transactions run through. So something to consider. SoFi's technicals though have been playing a very big part in kind of the overall movement. So far today, with it at $7.37, it is between this pivot and this R1. So I did say in my pre-market video, watch this 723 for that strong support to hold. And today, in fact, it kind of temporarily broke past it, but this is probably what incentivized shorts to really start closing out some of their positions. So again, it kind of bounced off of that general area. So we do know this is a very strong support. And then as I've said in the past, just to quickly go over to the 1 day, this is where you see that 747 resistance, which SoFi has really struggled with over the last little bit, and plus that self-made options resistance at 750. So definitely SoFi has its work ahead of it if it does want to get above that. But regardless, today seems to be a fairly good and nice recovery. So let me know your thoughts if you did buy that dip right here. Interestingly enough, I was not available to buy this. I kind of looked at it like right here, but I would have definitely bought it if I saw it was below that 723, but can't catch them all, unfortunately. But like I said, those are some strong support and resistance points for you to watch for. So that's 723 and then that 747 right here. Aside from that though, looking on the actual chart, this is probably what as well led for shorts to return some shares, is because of that sell-off, it did actually go outside the Bollinger Band. So 9 times out of 10, whenever it does go out of that unjustifiably, this is where you do have a rally of sorts, just pushing it back in. So all of this combined, especially with shorts closing out some of their positions, aided in SoFi having a fairly nice recovery. Looking at stochastic, you do see a nice bullish deviation still, so white line above the red. It is getting somewhat out of oversold territory into somewhat neutral, so it is at 49, and then number of retail investors are starting to still continue to get in. So I think overall, just with the algorithmic trading going down with SoFi, shorts returning, and the technicals bouncing off of a very strong support, it does signal that maybe a nice continuation of a run is still in the cards, but we'll just have to wait and see. The broader market, there's a lot of spec plays that is kind of fueling the fear and greed index relatively, and so I think right now people's appetite for risk is still there, and SoFi just needs to give some good credible reason for people and institutions to buy. So let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And one final thing I just wanted to share with you, if you do like my channel, want to support the growth, take a look at my memberships, link in the description below and also the comments. With all that said, I appreciate all of you watching.